that stems from an incident last year here in Charlotte. Of course, that is Iryna's Law.
And named after 23-year-old Iryna Zarutska, who moved to Charlotte after fleeing the war in Ukraine.
Thank you for sticking with us. It's On Your Side tonight at 7:30. I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Kim Anderson. The case of Iryna Zarutska put Charlotte and its safety into the international spotlight. Zarutska boarded the drain in South End after getting off work in August of last year. Well, just minutes later, the man sitting right behind her, DeCarlos Brown Jr., got up from his seat and stabbed her before getting off the train. There was no interaction between the pair. Zarutska died shortly after the stabbing, and Brown was arrested.
He is charged with murder, and then later federal prosecutors brought their own charges against him. This incident led North Carolina lawmakers to pass judicial reform measure. It was called Iryna's Law.
A part of it focuses on the mental health of defendants. Now, let me show you what that includes. Come on over here with me real quick. Under the new law, a judge can order a psychiatric evaluation if someone is charged with a violent crime and is believed to be a danger to themselves or others, or if they've been involuntarily committed within the last 3 years. Now, it also has workarounds for courts to order involuntary commitments, but the state's struggling to implement it.
We're trying to figure out the best way to do assessments and treatment for patients who suffer mental illness who also have been involved in an allegation of a serious crime.
Well, the involuntary commitment section of Iryna's Law is on hold until December of this year while legislators work out the details. Well, that's because the state's Department of Health and Human Services says, quote, involuntary commitment should be used as a last resort. It can be a difficult experience that takes away someone's liberty.
Now, when it comes to the required evaluations, they're supposed to take place at a hospital or a crisis facility. The State Healthcare Association is pushing for those evaluations to take place within jails and detention centers by telehealth, citing safety as a primary concern. But those detention centers are run by local sheriffs.
Taking someone with mental health needs and putting them in a jail is probably going to make their mental health problems even worse.
It's not just the light rail attack that's putting a spotlight on the state's mental health system. Right now, a committee in Raleigh is looking into how judicial officials handled this man, Ryan Camacho.
He's charged with breaking into the home of a Raleigh teacher, Zoe Welsh, and killing her January 3rd. Camacho, similar to DeCarlos Brown Jr., has a documented history of mental illness. When charged in a separate incident last year, prosecutors asked the court to have Camacho committed. They were denied.
After learning this, state lawmakers sent a letter to the House Select Committee on Involuntary Commitment and Public Safety asking, quote, how could a person who was found to not be competent to proceed to trial for a breaking and entering charge and who had a lengthy criminal history, including over 20 arrests, be released and not involuntarily committed, even at the request of the district attorney? They also asked what additional tools would help law enforcement and the courts prevent crimes like this from happening in the future.
As the committee probes this latest case from Raleigh, DeCarlos Brown Jr. is now in federal custody in connection to Iryna Zarutska's death.